What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new up in this place, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Ntwanano, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back to this channel. Yeah, we've hit 2,000 subscribers, guys. Thank you so much to everybody who has subscribed. If you haven't subscribed already, please do hit the subscribe button below and the notification bell as well to get notified every time I post. Today I wanna talk about this topic. It has been discussed a lot of times and we've talked about it and people have asked about it. Can trainees actually afford to have a car and also rent an apartment, right? Because there's been so much uncertainty on trainee salaries. Nobody really knows how much they earn except for them, and for most of them won't even share this information. I did a video where I did share this information. I will leave a link and you guys can go and watch it, right? So my take on this is that yes, guys, yes, you can afford to have a car and you can afford to rent an apartment. Disclaimer before I even go any further is that this video, I'm talking about the renting of an apartment. I am not talking about the buying of a property, because I feel like that is not the route that most of us do take. A lot of us start from nothing and we just rent for the first 3 years, right? So if you are somebody who, I don't know, maybe you're a trust fund baby, or you have parents who are sort of buying properties for you, maybe this video is not for you. Here I'm talking to the many people who are coming from my kind of background, who started from nothing to build up what they have now, right? So I just have a few points that I need to speak to you guys about. The first thing is that yes, you can afford to buy a car and you can afford to rent a decent apartment with your trainee salary. And I'm not going to speak specifically to first years or second year or third years, just anybody in the training environment who earns a salary from their training office can afford to buy a car and you can afford to rent an apartment. Okay, so obviously a car and an apartment when you're doing your training are not mutually exclusive. So the thing is, you need both, right? You need to have a car because you're going to be traveling to clients, and it's not every time that you are going to have a client that is easy access to public transport, right? So it's not always the case that you get a client where you can use the Gautrain, or you can Uber, or you can catch a taxi. So you need to have a private transport. It's also easy on the time, so you are more in control of what time you leave your house and what time you get to the client. Another thing is also, if you're working overtime, if you have your own transport, it's easier because you can then knock off late and just drive home. But if you don't have a car, you can't work overtime and you miss out on some opportunities because of that. I don't think I need to talk for an apartment. We all need a place to stay, so definitely you need an apartment. The second thing is you can stay at home, right? If you can. So the thing is, for most of us, including myself, we can't really stay at home and do our articles because I come from Limpopo. I cannot be traveling between Limpopo and Joburg on a daily, right? But if you're from Joburg, or you are doing your articles in a city or a town where you grew up and is your home, or you have family that you can stay with, maybe consider staying with them. Yes, I know it doesn't sound glamorous to stay with your parents when you're 25. It doesn't sound very, you know, intriguing. You like to, you know, have pictures in your own apartment and stuff like that, but you need to understand the stage that you're at, you know. So if you can stay at home because it's more cheaper. You're not paying rent. Maybe you'll help out with the groceries and the electricity every now and then, but it's not the same burden as having a whole entire apartment sitting on your shoulders, right? Which brings me to the next point, is that if you can have a trade between a car and an apartment, and I'm going to explain this. So for instance, myself, right, I didn't have to buy a car when I started my training because I already had a car. My parents gifted me with a car for my 21st birthday, right? It was not a car I had thought would be my first, if I can put it that way. It's not a car I thought I'd be driving when I start working, but it got me from point A to B. It got me from the office to the client, to my place, to my friend's place, to the party, to everywhere. I was mobile, okay, and that was the whole point. So if you are also in a situation where you have a car, maybe they bought you a car like they did with me, or maybe you can use your mom's car or a car that is at home that you don't need to pay for, consider holding on to that car and keep using it. In that way you can get a fancier, nicer apartment, because now you don't have to apportion your salary between the car and the place. So if you have a car that is already there that you can use, maybe consider keep using it, and then maybe get a fancier apartment and you can furnish and it looks pretty for Instagram and stuff. You also, if you are living at home, if you have access to live at home doing your training, consider living at home, and then you can use your salary to get a fancier car. So there is a trade-off between the two, and that's what I did. I already had a car, so I'm not paying for any car installments, so I could get a nicer apartment in a nicer neighborhood. The other thing that I think you guys need to be aware of is that if you're not able to not pay for either, so if you have to pay for both, if you have to pay for a car and you have to pay for an apartment, consider getting reasonably priced apartments and reasonably priced cars, right? So you are in your training. The one thing that helped me a lot is to think about it this way. These 3 years are training. I am not employed, and actually I'm not even a full-time employee where I work. I am on a contract basis, right? So this is a contract for 3 years. After 3 years I'm on my own. I'm not the company's problem anymore. So see it like that. See it as a training. You are not a full-time employee. You are not even like fully employed. So see this as a training opportunity. Don't see it as a full-time job where you now need to start buying a fancy car and start getting a fancy house or an apartment. So you are still starting out. It's a graduate program, okay? So you just need to get a place that is decent, that is safe, and you just need to get a car that is also decent and that is safe as well. You don't need to get your dream car. I don't think this is the point where we start buying our dream cars because we cannot afford it. You need to learn to stay within your lane, guys. Social media is very deceitful. You see people posting nice cars and stuff. You don't even know if they own them or they're renting them or what's happening, and also you don't know people's circumstances. So just accept that for these 3 years, nyana, you know, you are just a trainee, and what you can afford is a Ford or a Hyundai or a Corolla, or in my case a Toyota, right? That's what you just can afford. And if it gets you from point A to point B, then you're great. And also with an apartment, if you just get a place that is safe and that is affordable and has no problems like roaches and plumbing problems and geyser bursting, you're good to go. You don't need anything fancy. You need to learn how to balance your money between your living expenses, so your car, your rental and all of that, and also you're going out, because at the end of the day you're still human. You still need to meet up with friends and maybe have lunch once in a while or go out once in a while. So don't get anything fancy, guys, that will sort of restrict you on what you can do during the month or what you can spend your money on for the rest of the month, because you need to leave at the end of the day. After working those numerous hours of overtime, you will need to go out and have a drink or two if you drink, or you will need to go to a concert or something. So don't restrict yourself. Get a car, get an apartment that would allow you to still live the kind of life that you want. Or the second last thing actually is the fact that it's when you're considering getting an apartment and you consider also getting a car, you need to think about it this way. It's more than just an apartment and it's more than just a car. Why do I say this? An apartment is more than just the rent. So you still have to pay for electricity, you still have to pay for water. You shouldn't be paying for rates, taxes and levies though, but sometimes some landlords actually do pass that on to the tenant. So be careful when looking at places to rent, and also read your lease. So but just for this video, let me say, consider your electricity costs, consider your water costs. Some apartments do include water in the rent. I would advise you to actually look for apartments that are inclusive of water in the rent as well. And then with the car, it's more than just a car, guys. It's your insurance. You need to have an insured car. It is petrol. You need to put petrol to move around, and also it's your maintenance plans that you have. I know if you're buying it new, you might have like a 2-year maintenance plan or whatever, but at the end of the day, there are some things that could break down, and things could happen, we don't know, right? So you also need to have like a safety net for that. It's also important to have an emergency fund, especially when you're still in training. So think about it like that. It's more, if a car says the installment is 3,500 and you think, oh come on, I can afford 3,500, maybe add 2,000 onto that for your insurance, for your tracker, for your petrol. So think holistically for that. The last thing, which is a bonus point on this video that I'm going to share with you, is do I know what places or which neighborhoods do I look at as a trainee, maybe that could be affordable for me to move in. My first suggestion, obviously this depends on where you'll be working, where your clients are, what your preference is as well, but my suggestions on average would be to look at places like Midrand. I really love Midrand. It's affordable, it has nice places, the neighborhood is good, it's safe. The all malls around, Mall of Africa is just here. There's a lot of things, there are hospitals, and you're good. So Midrand, consider that. Randburg as well. I think Randburg is also good. It is a bit closer to Sandton, so it might be a bit pricey, but it is a good place to start as well to look. Also Johannesburg South. I'm not very familiar with Johannesburg South, but I have looked for an apartment there when I started, and they were averaging at around 6,000, 6.5 for a 2-bedroom apartment. So you can decide what you want and what you do not like. Another place is the East Rand. The East Rand is very good. It has new and upcoming apartments, so you can definitely get a new apartment where you will be the first person to stay, which is actually quite good, because then you know that the plumbing works, you know that the geyser is still new, so it's not gonna burst on you in the middle of the night. And it's also a safe environment, you know, and there's not a lot happening in the east, so it's kind of safer, if I can put it that way. The last thing is I want to advise you is to avoid the Sandton area. It sounds nice and it's glamorous on Instagram to say, oh, I live in Sandton, but guys, Sandton rent is expensive. The thing is, it's expensive and the places are not that big, so the rooms are very small, the kitchen looks like a passage. It's just, I don't know, from my perspective, my opinion, I think Sandton, you're really just paying for goodwill, and a lot of you will understand what I mean by that. You're just paying for the goodwill, you're paying for the name, you're paying for the trademark of Sandton. You're not really getting as much value, you know. So that's my opinion. Obviously, if you feel like, oh, you live in Sandton and you're getting great value for your money, that's good. But for me personally, I feel like I'm paying more for the goodwill than I am paying for the apartment that I actually stay at. So those are my points, you guys. You can take it, you can leave it, it's definitely up to you. I hope you found this helpful, especially for those starting articles next year, and also for anybody who's already in their articles and they may be rethinking this again. So yeah, if you like this video, give it a massive thumbs up, comment down below and let me know which of these points you hadn't thought of, and which of these points do you think will be helpful to you going forward. I love you guys. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.